This one. We're going to be getting it started with Entropiq on that CT side. Astralis to start their T campaign with a win.
And right here we've got Lucky with the Julies. Good spawn can get him on hard early. Actually over towards ramp with quite a heavy lean from Entropiq here. Unexpected odds are favouring the Danes, and that's a P250 in the hands of Blame as they corral themselves towards Yard with all 5.
Yeah, Nickelback should be set to at least get this information at a distance. Blame F has had a little chunk taken out of him upon his cross, and Elian will finish what was started. But look at this, hiding in the blind spot of Unbreakable. They want to take the fight. Yard against USPs with Glocks, and it needs to be a kill. Config not as sharp as usual on that exchange. Leaves us in a 3v3, and it's not done yet. Forrester could take 2 and has, and the third, too much to ask. Zipex thrust into what is now a 1v2.
Okay, we've got Lucky down towards B and up in the rafters still of Krad. Zipex needs to piece this one together, and he's always tidy in the clutch as the clutch minister, but this one right here with Bomb on his back, a minute on the clock, is a situation where he wants to isolate a fighter, at least get some information on where these last 2 reside.
Yeah, ideally no sound cues to be made. Now you can see Krad's playing a reactive position. He wants to occasionally take intermittent glances at that heaven position, which
could be perfect here.
Coming up. It's just a question of catching Krad.
Timing is everything.
Has to be good, has to be good, and it's a little bit of a weapon discrepancy. Good find from Krad. No armor on that either.
Yeah, it looked like Zip got a little bit surprised by seeing a player still up there to roost, right? Because the position Krad was in was so committed, right? There wasn't a position where you're ready for all those angles, but still able to convert off the back of the shots. And a good start from Entropiq here. Now, a little detail that I want to bring up is Entropiq, they came through Group A. That was 4 weeks ago now. And you have, well, this team of Astralis who have been looking hot, right? They're warming into things, and they haven't had to go home. They're still in this environment that we have in place for ESL Pro League Season 15. This is a great start from Entropiq, right? If they lost the pistol, maybe they lose the first gun round, the game could snowball away from them. This is a chance for them to really steady early, and I think a positive sign.
You were also
CT Nuke is nice.
You were telling me you like a lot of the way Astralis' new roster fares on Nuke in terms of Blame F having more space given to him by the fact that Config is taking it towards Yard.
Yeah, and Glaive as well has been activated again in some key position, but their CT sides are extremely dynamic. I think it's going to be difficult for Entropiq to keep tabs on here, and I believe that Blame has actually changed positions on this T side of Nuke with Zip, right? So he's doing more of that anchor role. Speaking of Blame, he's going to get chunked on down again by the scout, but here they come into Lackey.
Nickelback. Oh, a bit
clubbing their lines. Aim's a bit rough today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not pretty. Fortunately, it's not punished, just Glocks and a P250, but not the open and shut exchange you'd be looking for. Elian even making it hurt. Blame not allowed to do anything more with his Glock, and Glaive just wants to die.
Now this is where it's going to get interesting. The AK is going to come out early here. Astralis took that full eco in the second to make sure they can get the AK-47s out in the third. There won't be upgrades coming in from Entropiq here. There's the buyback in from Nickelback. That's all good. And the MP9s carried across from Lackey and Krad. They can operate easy as you like on a map like Nuke. Now Elian has the only scope rifle up for the first gun rounds of play. I use that term lightly, right? We're going to work our way into the full gun rounds as this game here progresses.
We can call this a weapon round, and then the gun rounds are the ones with the full gibblies and bibblies. But either way, you can see this smoke is one of the many in Astralis' arsenal. Oh, Krad taking a hell of a lot of damage from that burn.
This is being heard. Nickelback was very noisy about that.
Yeah, but he's going to just take the fight and immediately go down. Nickelback left looking a bit of a plum. Oh, hello, Config, a freebie, no trade available. Just like that, a 2-man advantage for Astralis. They haven't even gone anywhere near a site.
It's going to be hard to mess this one up, isn't it? You can go down Secret here with the bomb as a pack. You have a little bit of light utility on Zipex, who is over towards Secret. They can smoke Molly and go.
Blame knows that lobby control is going to be a viable option here for Entropiq in the face of their losses. But just as I'm saying that, it seems a conversation's been had to just batten down the hatches on top, execute.
They got the boost up ladder here, right? If you get Forrester boosted up on the rafters, at least he can take a pivot towards Yard from a vantage point. And as this is happening, they are starting to crawl on down. They're waiting for that aggro that you've highlighted here. Nothing is coming their way just yet, and sooner rather than later, they will need to have a look in. And who better to do it than the in-game leader of Glaive? You could see they're starting to lead the charge down in towards the lower bomb site. If they take window control, that utility of Zip can easily cotton off towards ramp. You get a Molly on one side, a smoke on the other, and Elian won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, well, Smoke has not stopped it, and the nade is perfect. Catch it. Double. Glaive down as well. That hard work of Nickelback comes back to haunt Glaive, and suddenly a competitive round takes shape. Elian I mean, it's threatening.
They're all coming from ramp. The entire retake here is
You'd need
ramp.
Config to die. Oh my god, he actually catches a scout bullet. The Julies are threatening now. Config has to be humbled. Good counter. Nades are good. Elian continues to build upon it. Up to Farley now. Commits to the spray. Vulnerable, but does transfer. And now Elian has to finish the job. It's Farley to deliver the triple. My goodness. Good to see Elian in top form, but the rest a little shaky around the edges.
Yeah, that almost got out of control, didn't it? Just the bowling of that nade into the smoke looked absolutely perfect. A strike there from Elian as he picks up 2 beautiful frags with that, but maybe not the way that he wants. You know, he wants to be getting those scout headshots coming through. Here it is, just a bit of congestion, bit of a traffic jam down there behind the smoke, and they didn't use the utility in the way that I thought they would. They went for a bit more of a gambly out the door type option, but it does pay off, and Elian gets back into things with the AWP. So not a full buy for Entropiq, but everything they can muster as it is a force.
Yeah, threatening. Bomb out yard on its own. No, I'm telling Porky's Glaive jumps straight in and deletes Nickelback. So again, an opening death for him. Elian is going to be called upon with this AWP. Config is on main. This drop, that flash indicates as such. He is aware that that is a slip available. There's 2 of them.
I look at.
Oh, easy as it comes for Config. The presence of Glaive draws the crosshair, and again, a 2-man disadvantage for Entropiq.
Looking like they want to go for the same boost up towards the heaven position again right now. Lackey is over towards hell. You've got Glaive trying to be that thorn in their side over towards the window room, just patrolling for any of these rotations. If Glaive gets another here, you should call this round done.
Yeah, and I mean, how likely is it that Lackey just takes a little glance, calls it clear, both of them find themselves here in heaven?
This is a lot of hitting the brakes from Astralis. 2 rounds consecutively now. The openers have come their way, both in pairs. Here it is, the search back from Forrester, and doesn't see a whole lot. 50 seconds. And here he comes.
Yeah, they've held everything. He's paused enough for them to call it clear, and now he's going to strike from behind. He's definitely looking like somewhat of a puppet master, is Glaive.
There's no head armor on any of these 3, so he could just mince through them here.
No, thank you very much. Flash will do nicely. He's definitely drawing attention.
And here's where 1 is. 30 seconds now. They need to get a move on. Get together, Astralis.
Oh, hello. Little slow on that one. Lackey still has heaven control. Astralis descending. He's kept them on that top side. There is absolutely no one home, and Blame has that vent rotate. You will not pass as he slams his staff, and a save for Entropiq.
Yeah, and they know that the ult was over towards Warehouse. It's been picked up by Lackey now. The question is, do Astralis want to try and deny it? Config knows that he took this out of the hands of the Star Opera on the other side. And here he comes. In the back, the frag and the AWP are going to fall in his favor. Just Forrester now, rocking a hard place.
There's probably a lot of viewers watching, Chad, that struggle to understand why there's all these pauses when huge advantages are taken. In their MM games, you know, you get 2 kills and you hold W, you plant the bomb and you win. Could you quickly outline as to what this netted Astralis?
Yeah, so in a situation like this, if Astralis just continued forward off of the kills that they've gotten, Entropiq would have known where the attack was coming from, right? By hitting pause, they allow the CTs to go for some info plays, and there's a couple of options. You already highlighted one of them, which was an aggressive lobby play. But just by staying in those blind spots, they step out, they clear, they go, well, nothing here. They rotate back, they assume that they have that space, that buffer, and then Glaive's able to be a nuisance coming up heaven late. So it's all smoke and mirrors. Information is a huge part of Counter-Strike. It's not just about bullets in the head.
Although that is a satisfying component.
And a great song.
Outraged against the machine one time. And that's one to the dome of Blame, as easy as it goes.
I just want to protect the AK here and start searching elsewhere. There's a lot of players up towards this top side, actually all of them for Entropiq right here, right now.
So this is where the information game can be a pain. You do need to keep the feet planted, but you also need to take some space elsewhere. And look at that, Smoke has actually enabled a very cheeky maneuver. They may not anticipate this.
Well, if they go... Oh, they're coming B.
Well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Nickelback's actually ratting it. He's managed to take a lot of space on this. Krad distracts. Oh, Nickelback reveals. And damage is done, but the site is lost.
I'm just curious, this is a difficult map as far as communication and rotations go. Some of the aimers looked a bit wobbly for both teams out the gates here. This one's getting mopped up. Shouldn't be too many problems now. But remember what I spoke about? This is ring rust on LAN for Entropiq, right? They lost their last 3 series in consecutive fashion online, right? They come on into this. They haven't played LAN in this environment for a couple of weeks. You need to get everything back and going straight away. Whereas it was just a few days ago. Sunday was the last day that Astralis had played an official match here in this exact environment.
Well, you want to talk about officials? I think Yanko was onto something when he compared the 500+ officials that these boys have played as a unit and the 13 that Astralis have. I think in that comparison, in terms of having having the reps, but also just the understanding of what your teammates are going to be doing, their expectations of you. Admittedly, though, Astralis have consistently not shown that. You know, when they were juggling their rosters and juggling roles and trying to adapt to the loss of legendary names such as Dupree, Device, obviously earlier than that, they've always managed to come in relatively coherent.
Yeah, there's always been a competitive nature to them, right? And that's where the experience really shines through for this team. Now, for Blame and Config, it's not in the same bucket and spades variety as a Glaive and a Zipex, right? But throughout the complexity era, Config's been playing LAN at a high level for a very, very long time. And then you have Farley as that newer element to all of this. So I think that Astralis have a solid base. They've always had a solid base, even with all those chopping and changes. It's just about refining that. And we're starting to see Astralis decide who they want to be with this new roster more within Pro League. Now, one spotted here. Good damage done from Glaive. Elian put on notice and no AWP.
Does limit his contributions heavily, especially now with the low HP. Like, this is something you can exploit. We see the very signature move it's becoming of Entropiq to adjust or help Heaven. Config's on his way. Farley brought low. Flame still trying to hold this lobby, but the lurky smoke has enabled safe passage of Nickel back, and 3 of them in lobby. That's information. But it is also a frag for Zipex. 1 man up. Config worming his way to flank the ramp. It is being held by Lackey, a 2-man setup.
Awkward angle being held here from Lackey. If Config hits, those are big.
Yeah, I'm not expecting that one, and a bit of a desk slam as you realize that space was a trap. You walk through it, lost it. And now, I mean, look at them. They're walking wounded. There isn't a single member of Astralis with full health.
Vent drop here might be nice, right? Walk out, Squeaky, take some contact and try and drop down that vent here if you can. Molly's going to give it away.
Three flashes. You know where they're coming. Information and frags exchanged. It's so close.
Low HP here.
So low. Krad can finish it all, and he's taken down the healthiest. That'll do nicely. That'll do from Krad. And a 3-3 scoreline.
Felt a bit flat in general that round, didn't it? With the low HP, it was very difficult for them to try and operate into the rounds here from Astralis. And as you mentioned, it is tied on up. Now, some of those victims that fell for Astralis a little bit earlier, right, going to have to go for some... Cash is fine. I was just trying to see if we're lacking in a big way. It is just Blame F who's on that lower end, just under the 3K mark here, but everybody else has enough. So should be another purchase, no dramas. Do have a technical timeout called. There was a bit of a game crash going on, so we'll get that one sorted and get everybody back in so we can continue things here. But there isn't an AWP to be operating within this next gun round. We can take a little bit of a look down the line if you're not familiar with the faces that we have on screen. You've got Krad, then you've got Forrester, Elian in the middle, Nickelback, the in-game leader, and then Lackey down the end. And behind them there, not the referee, the gentleman that's just missed out of the shot. That was Hooch, the coach. Used to be a 1.6 player back in the day, and obviously played through CSGO. I lost to him at a major qualifier once upon a time.
He was always very welcoming and friendly when I first showed up in CS. Hooch, he's always he's a social creature, a social butterfly. And on the other side of things, you've got supermodel / X1.6 player Trace.
Yeah, the thing is with those Danes, right? They really just they like the gym. Apparently, they like the gym. They already had some people over there, but they just want to amplify it, make the rest of us feel inadequate.
Well, not inadequate, but definitely they all look like they could be rugby players as well as Counter-Strike players.
It's good for Astralis, right? If you needed, if you want to ever do like a calendar or anything, I get the models out.
Oh no,
there,
I use them in the anti-basement dweller gaming rhetoric. Like whenever I'm talking to a boomer who hasn't quite processed it yet, I'm like, well, look at these sexy Vikings. You've got nothing on us.
True, that is true. We do have some handsome lads, and there's Glaive, one of the well, I would say the best in-game leader in CSGO, right? Like,
you don't even need to raise your voice like that.
Well, I just want to make sure that people here are paying attention. The guys won 4 bloody majors.
Yeah.
I don't know how many you guys have.
And how many of them were back-to-back?
Oh, a few, 3 of them. So that's quite the achievement to have. And we got the banter between Glaive and Cadian throughout the week. That would be fantastic if we get to see them have a matchup again. Now, they are in opposite sides of the bracket, so might be a little bit unlikely unless it's a grand final.
Unless it's a grand final.
Denmark might explode.
Oh, wow. It does look like a bit of a treasure chest the way he's holding it there.
That's where your cellular telephones live, everybody. Yeah. So if you're unfamiliar, they've been doing this for years, old ESL. They take your phones, they put them in a box. But if you have a crash and you need to restart Counter-Strike, well, you need that Steam guard to get back in.
I noticed as well, Chad, your most recent purchase for your gaming den has been embodied by Krad. He's got the same mousepad as you, your mousepad pros.
Yeah, you know, well, I think they're coming in the mail.
Oh, yeah?
They just rock up. The mousepad fairy seems to arrive at Twist. Had one of those rocking as well yesterday. But I like a thick pad.
As do I. Looks like we're ready to rock and or roll. It's a big round for Astralis to kind of recap where we got to so far. We had the pistol won and an eco converted by Entropiq. They have recently, as in the most recent round, round 6, managed to break Astralis' slew of rounds. It was 3 back-to-back from the Danes, which leads us to this point. It is make or break for both squads. The finances hanging on by a thread.
Now, I was talking to our good friend Rushley1234556, who's on the 1s to 0s today.
Yes.
With the Observing. I said, Rush, I think if Astralis come out and they just batter Entropiq and make sure that they can't play a lot of rounds, can't get warmed back into the LAN environment, it might be a 2-0 here. But if map number 1 is close, I can see this going the distance. It's obviously close with the Astralis victory, then we go to Vertigo, and then overpasses the 3rd. So I'm interested to see if that comes to fruition. I know that Rush has got a hot date tonight, so I'm sure he would be loving the 2-0, as we all know. But the AKs are back out, the buys are in. And
what time's your train?
Hey.
Config. Brave. Aggressive. Back turned. And Forrester, just like that, has taken down 2 of the Danes. Glaive and Config have to watch as this one does spiral. Blame does give a sound cue away, deliberate or otherwise. Farley responsible for this duel. It can end here, but it doesn't. Lackey does lack the headshot, leads us to a ramp open. Nickelback forced into a tight line. Blame is not going to clear this. Is he? No. And so, the advantage, once again, this pendulum swings and the bomb still lobby. Zipex can go wherever he desires. They're actually opting to split up as opposed to group up for a 2v3.
Well, I know Farley was in lobby here, right? So if Zip was able to show himself with the bomb and not go down, it might draw all the attention because Farley has plenty of time to work on this flank. But the angles might not favor him as Forrester tucking back in towards the bomb box and Elian in towards the CT vent.
How flanky is this flank? With 50 seconds, he could consider it, but he's in main.
It's so difficult for him to break this, right? There's so many problems as you come in here. You have to worry about Heaven, the CT vent is
Ollie.
a problem. Well placed.
Dead, surely. Oh, Elliot stands, still delivers. 1 on the site. Bomb retrieved. He's got to think this one through. The descent to the low site is held. He cuts noise and hopes Forrester falls into paranoia. This fight will come to him eventually. Just at the right time, Forrester, he started this round with an impactful double, leaves with 9 frags. That's a good total and a big round to win.
And Forrester, I think, has been the most impressive member for Entropiq, at least throughout Pro League. Elian there is the next so, and Desk was talking about his stats against certain teams in the world and where they place. Now, if Elian can show up and put the level performance he does against maybe, let's say, the top 50s, then this is where the team really can come alive. But they're a hard team to put away, Entropiq. They're not an easy team to beat. So if you are Astralis and you get yourself into some number advantage scenarios, you need to be closing them out. You can't give away rounds to a team like Entropiq because they will punish you.
Yeah, I feel like Entropiq just keep everyone they're up against honest. And it's a good step towards supremacy.
You can see they haven't gone for too many oversteps the mark here. They're not giving away a lot. They're more turtling up than going for lobby pushes. As you mentioned with that Lackey space that Config fell into the trap of before. They just sit back. They allow you to play into their crosshair. Smoke wall does land. L block here with all 5 behind it. So this slow crawl is going to see Farley take a chip of damage down to 64.
This is also that silenced M4 luxury. You can just visualize where those deagles are through the grey screens. Starting to fade, speedily descending.
Take a couple of steps there. I think Elian's heard that.
Yeah, all of that for nothing. Maybe an over-rotation, a gap created as Elian does leave and they surge through.
They are playing with the rotations here, right, in a big way.
He comes back and they've already progressed. This is the wide swing. They could perhaps hit the 1D gon. They're walking. Oh, Glaive is being very masterful about this. And as he comes through, a much wider angle than he anticipated, then to fill the void is 1. Farley does go down. Zipex to Dink, Elian down. M4 scooped up. Now, I mean, a bomb plant would be an incredible achievement considering how little they invested, but it does seem like just the frag and a second have gone their way. Config continues to force rebuys, but
20 seconds, so if Config wants to go down to get the loss bonus, which is going to be the 2400 in the next, he better get a move on. He could just save this AK, it's going to be fine. He'll be able to afford into the next round everything he needs, and there it goes, right? You can see him there just wanting to make sure it goes down so he can buy with the rest of the team. One of the worst case scenarios would be dying after time, not getting the loss bonus, 2400, having a crippled buy going into round number 9, but now we're looking good to get back into the full guns here, and Elian will get the AWP back out. So you could see that little play there. That's definitely playing with the rotations from watching the demos of how Entropiq want to rotate around the different smoke walls. There's certain positions they were looking at CT box, pretty standard for that rotator player to play, especially if you had an AWP, can just get that slither gap.
But that's what you say when you want one. You say, AW, please.
And you pray that you have some kind teammates. Elian almost hits the shot on the jump right there. Glaive needs to be praying.
Oh, he's never considering this. Yeah, tucked in tight, baited in. And Nickelback does eventually deal with Glaive. Body shots, and now one to his head puts us on a back foot for the Entropiq defense.
So there was an opener from Zipex during all of this.
And this is very typical of a Orpuk summoned to the top site with the door blown off. It does kind of completely screw any progress out Squeak.
This is the same pause that they've been going for time and time again here, Astralis. This time without the same yard presence, but they're waiting for this Forrester hut push. Look at Zipex's position. He should have him dead to rights here.
Wow, Forrester, well drilled. To be jiggling the upper platform of lobby. And they are waiting for this crawl. Now, Elian, if he's crouching, he will expose himself first.
Oh, Farley's just slinked out of the line of sight here.
But that means they've got a lot of lobby control, and Blame nearly gets caught as well. They got a good mental picture as to where some of the Astralis T-side lingers, and now he's bringing the AWP to play. Bang! Blame ready for the AWPer. Out-duels him and now extends a two-man advantage.
Have to deal with Forrester. He's been a rock.
He really has. I'd want to avoid him. Don't think Astralis are thinking the same. With 20 seconds, it's getting awkward. If Forrester...
lower, they're going to go into Lackey. They have to go A.
It's tight. It shouldn't be too much of a fight. Forrester, the only one on the site. Still gets the first. The second would have been compulsory to victory, but a couple of seconds to spare. The bomb goes down, and Lackey just checking out which vest he'll be wearing later on tonight.
Yeah, look, I think they all need a wash.
They do look a bit scruffy.
They definitely need a wash down there, so whoever's on laundry
They've been washing the whites with the colors. It's like blue.
You get there eventually, though. It's not something you do in your younger years. You don't really mind too much.
I don't care.
The older you get, then you're going to get your fabric softeners in the mix.
Have you ever got the color catchers? That is...
I've seen you're a fan of those.
I am a big rep for the color catchers because you can just be a lazy ass and still relatively preserve your whites. I also avoid white clothing. So.
Yeah. Two birds, one stone.
I'm also, I drink too much coffee and I'm too clumsy.
You do? Yeah, well, I have seen Alex Machine Richardson spill once or twice in my life.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the
salsa jar.
Salsa jar, do we?
Now, this one here, right, is a saved M4 for Lackey, and it's important to do so. Krad can buy, Lackey can drop one, and they can make this look like a gun round if they want here in Entropiq. It's not going to be the perfect purchase, but that was the Zipex opener, just through the smoke, right? And we talk about Zipex with the spam through the hut, able to get some traction there. Well, the spam through the smoke is nice as well, especially with the AK. But you can see how Entropiq back themselves, right? They just sit, they wait, and they try and deliver multi-kills. If Forrester was able to get two on the site, maybe Lackey goes for that type of a retake. And they are able to get this buy through. Elian has been afforded an AWP, two M4s, a Famas, and a Deagle, a defuse kit for Lackey as well. So they have everything they need to win this round here in Entropiq. Or Astralis, if they pick it up, they could break the back and start working on a massive T-sided bag.
I don't know what happens in Nickelback, but every gun round or every other gun round, he's always ended up being the one without the rifle.
Selfless in-game leader.
Yeah. This time hoping not to get booked by the yard progress, and it is happening again. Glaive more than happy to be the first one down.
There's a ramp push during all of this, so they're going to get some lobby control here. They will have to deal with Blame, who is parked on up towards the heart. Oh, spammed on through. They know his position.
Distraction. Blame's anticipating a reaction.
Didn't make it out, and they know that he's the lobby lurk. They can immediately respond to this.
Yeah, look at the amount of space they've just taken. So how now we look to the other side of the court. Astralis, they know they've lost lobby. They have yard. The utility makes that abundantly clear. And Config continues his aggression. Now, his drop was heard. They are anticipating this. And yeah, you do have to make a play. He's even checking to a spawn. Respect to that, but pausing at this point in time. But if you can keep Config there and find something lower, he becomes a very crucial component of stopping that vent rotate.
I don't know how they win this round. They'll have to kill Nickelback very quickly and then just skyrocket onto the side here. This is so hard to win.
Lackey's still posted up for this. He knows they had lobby. Will he ever consider left? No, not at all. And that's lovely.
Should be the round. Should be done. 18 seconds left. How do you get into this?
You can try. Elian will deny. And just like that, another round slinks the way of Entropiq. Farley does have time to at least throw some extra cash into the mix. But that's about all they have to celebrate.
Yeah, that's the type of round where you can see that there's no way in. There was no way to get lobby back at that point. Nobody was close enough. You couldn't put any pressure on to try and retake that part of the real estate. And then when I said you have to make a play, they're giving you heaven and hell. come to us. We'll wait. You can see the off angle held by Lackey there. Everybody else was out of that line of sight. Alien holding off towards Hell. He knows that the windows have to be broken if they want to jump on through. So they're very turtled up.
Does that strike you as something that's deliberate? Like, as in something rehearsed?
And because you've seen it earlier as well, Nickelback is happy just to drop towards lower. So back in old Nuke, right, where Secret was in a different position, or even when it got moved, one of the things that you would do, because you had the catwalk and stuff, is you could turtle up very heavily on the CT side. You could play 2 guys in top site, 1 guy heaven/hell. You didn't have to worry about the jump up. It used to be done with a boost before, so you didn't even have to worry about that heaven position for such a long time. 1 ramp and 1 B, and that would be just a turtle setup. And this is a variation.
As long as you have Forrester or Lackey, one or the other of those prongs securing the top site and lobby presence, you really can just sit back and let them have heaven, let them have hell, walk into our ramp from the other side.
One of the ways that they can start to make this a bit awkward is if they start pressuring ramp, because that ramp player, if he's going straight down towards B, that's going to apply a bit more pressure to Alien on the AWP as the rotate player, because not only then will he have to worry about the outside ramp, he'll have to worry about the ramp pressure from behind. You can see him there, he just parks the bus and scopes one way, right? And they had everybody focused over towards that position. So a bit of ramp aggression or making sure that Blame stays alive so that ramp could always be a possibility means Entropiq won't be able to train those eyes. They have brought in Farley with a deagle, the rest with rifles. A Galil for config is the biggest emission. Looks like a fast top.
Yeah, it feels like one too. Blame straight down the vents unscathed. Very good space to be taken. I mean, who needs to go all the way around Secret when you're already parked in the vents? Now, he's got to have his brain whirring into action now as to where that rotate can come from.
You see, it's taken Alien out of the play. He's the AWPer, and he was the one dealing with that, right? Dropping towards the lower side of things. Now, he's actually going to park up towards ramp and likely to change position with Lackey, who'll be sent searching with the rifle instead. Now the smoke wall comes up. Now, one of the keys here is that they can get across safely. Blame can deal with the vent rotation, and they can just get their way into the site.
Nickelback to get through here. Now, he's not actively contesting. Maybe on the flash, he will have a little glance from main as well. Spray finds nothing. But they've got all the pieces. I mean, is this not what a T-side would dream of? All alive?
Just no utility right now. So the thing is, when Alien drops towards lower, he can set up a nice crossfire, right? You can see this crossfire established right here. There's no smoke, nothing to be too jarring. They're going to have to hit the shots on entry here, Astralis.
Alien will have his first shot, but he's been warded off. That light util you mentioned becomes a problem now. The AWP will keep us caged. Never mind, Farley with just the deagle takes down the most expensive gun in the game, and he's got a second as well. Forrester trying to voice concerns and has done so. Pieces together a double of his own. But now the bomb is down, and so is Glaive. Krad finds himself a little bit of space and just falling apart. Falling apart at the seams. Everyone wins their duel. Forrester again with a triple. And they will leave with an AWP and 2 AKs, never mind a 7th round. If they can keep a lid on Astralis' T side, we could be looking at a very competitive affair here.
I thought that was going to be harder to break. It didn't feel like there should have been so many entry points into the site here, but Blame was the one that dropped Vent. I think he goes down in the site. This is the banger here to open up the account. A very nice shot from Farley, and to be prepared for the second. Great work as well, but just not enough. They weren't accounting for all of these different pressure points back into the site. The kills just fell apart. And Krad will pick up the finals to get that defuse coming on through. So a great retake in a dangerous round. 7-4 the score now reads. A timeout taken, and this is the first for Astralis. Trace the coach, an opportunity to calm things down. 5 or 6 on this T side should be enough, but those opportunities I was talking about that you can't give over to a team like Entropiq, you need to be converting those number advantages.
Oh, what's going on here? Okay, so yeah, you are going to have just the one rifle. Something a lot of teams have been doing just to kind of really add an extra spice to your deagle round.
And keep the economy humble, right? A bank hasn't been built for Entropiq, so if Astralis can hit that magic number again of 3 kills, and if they get the bomb down, they don't have to win the round, but they'll keep Entropiq in that breaking point.
Victory by a different definition. Charging. Wow, Blame is actually the first out. He's so blind. Oh my god, they evaporate just as easy as they arrived. It's gone. It's done. And the quickest round of the day to be concluded here. An extra fresh mag at 19 bullets for Krad, and Zipek's probably going to take his hands off the keyboard and mouse for a minute.
The mission for him stays the same, but it's so difficult here. Any little jiggles, I think Alien even sniffs him out. Oh, this is the shot. Not long for this world now. Zip gets spammed through the wall. Alien will pick up that final kill and handled. Business has been taken care of by Entropiq, 8-4, and now Blame is going to feel that AK buy. Because they didn't get the plant, because they didn't get the kills, he might just have to work into this round with a Galil. That is worst case scenario right there. Absolute worst case scenario with a purchase like that.
You can see how Counter-Strike is so simple and so complex at the same time. This single flash from Krad changes everything. There was 2 from Astralis, but 1 from him, and that is enough to net him and his team 3 in very quick succession.
Another buy here with a Deagle emission, right? I thought for a while that they might not invest. I saw smokes as the first thing purchased, and Alien, as soon as the door blows up, the shot comes through, and Blame. The last couple of rounds for him has sucked. The AK buy with nothing, the lobby push that killed him going up the ladder, and now he has to sit and wait again. Another minute 30 in the grave.
Yeah, and now he's just completely teleported. Alien just put his name in the feed. Now he wants to punish any yard funny business. Nickelback tucked in. This is an alternative to giving them the space.
Gonna shoot him in the back here.
Blave.
Or not.
Switched on, he knows that hidey hole. They can recover this. This is a big round for Astralis, considering, as you discussed, the investment, the full investment. Suboptimal, but problems extended now.
I think Forrester had the angle there through the grate. Glaive didn't have it on the way back, and Config with a chance, but this one has gone awry. Lucky big shot, and problem solved again. This is great from Entropiq here. Looking likely to get their 9th.
He's been giving us something to talk about. And in fact, never mind. Combined with the Zipex and the bomb now spotted, they are going to get the rotates. Oh, wow. Forrester brings some aggression into the mix. He is switched on today, Chad. What a reaction, exploiting the expectation.
And a crazy play as well in a 2-on-2. Right, to go for that, if that didn't stick and he gives up the kill right there and Farley was expecting that type of a push, it's going to put Krad in such an awkward position. But again, Zipex, this would be the time to pull out one of your classic clutches, my friend.
Forrester going to deny the key to the clutch. Far too switched on today. Good nade. Forces him off the bomb, plays the time, and now they can run him down together. He just has to accept his fate there. Forrester will take another triple. It is getting, I feel like a broken record. How many times will I say this man's name in one half?
It feels like he's played just a perfect round of Counter-Strike there, because I spoke about the risk he takes to kill Farley and then the lack of risk he takes, right, which meant the bomb could have gone on down. Stalls out long enough, throws the nade, baits the plant, and another timeout called here from Astralis. Now, a little bit of talking out of Trace on this one. I'm going to settle them in because they need a round here on the way out the door. 3 of their 4 came within the first 5 rounds of play, and that's beautiful from Alien. Those are the openings that you're looking for from an AWP player. Forrester, crucial kill onto a linchpin position of Glaive's push. And then again, just denying the plant, making sure they can't get that cash injection into their bank accounts, and that has condemned Astralis now to just some pistols going into round 14. It's been a rough half. Double digits has not been found for anybody so far on the Astralis side of things.
Let's see what the call is. You know, in a 9-6 half, suddenly the slate wiped clean for the second after a pistol. You really can and have the fate of Astralis in the next 2 rounds here. I don't think Sonic's Law is going to be a conversation if Entropiq can find this convincingly. They have the weapon advantage again.
Setting up for a top pop here. So Molly towards top hut. They have a second that can go back of sight. Maybe even one for CT Ven. Here we go.
Forrester, this is his domain, but it's getting a bit of a problem now. They're so good with the util, and just like that, Glaive has opened up the top side.
To close this.
Can't. Alien loses it. Weapons on the floor.
It's
en masse. Nade does look promising, but evaded nicely. Config traverses and throws one back. And just like that, they are sent packing. Astralis with 4 hearts still beating. A couple of weapons to scoop on up for good measure.
Great stuff. And it's all Glaive right there. It looked like Config ran into, I guess, the doorway in the flash, because there was like a flash that didn't land all the way out hut, and then Glaive was like, well, I'm not blind, I'm going out. You can see this here, Config just kind of chilling. He was the first one in hut, and Glaive just barrels on through.
I guess I'll do it myself.
Well, he's had a couple of entry kills in this game so far. Earlier, I believe he had a couple with the MAC-10, and now here with the Tech-9. So beautiful stuff, and final round here, 9-6, looking possible now for Astralis.
What a recovery. That was a half buy. Imagine if they could just find an opener here, and just like that, as I say it, Krad gone. More to come. Glaive has taken the fight. Lackey low, and just his retreat not sprayed, not punished. And Nickelback is there to ensure the hunt is not successful. Just playing the edge of the smokes, you can see Config is in pursuit of an opening. He's been given the freedom, let off the leash. But Nickelback's barrel betrays him. Config enables his team to once again seize the advantage and extend it immediately as Blame does walk into the site, gets information. Forrester still lies on the rafters. Config will have to be prepared for that heaven fight. Zipex lands one through the beam. He's not going to anticipate an AWP, doesn't seem to matter. And now Forrester, he's been great, but it's the last round. We get to see him play it out. He won't be expecting Zip. Oh, but it confirms that he has left. And Farley, bit of a race against the clock here.
Forrest is chasing him here.
No, back up the vents. We're going around the world, up and down. It's the right move. It's the right move to make.
Forrest has gone back towards heaven. He's read this one as well.
They're staring at him. Jiggle and executed. What a recovery for Astralis. It was looking bleak. They'll take it. 6 rounds secure. The bare minimum for a competitive T side, and it's there. Entropiq swapping sides, and we'll see if this can go the distance.
Hey Future Pros! Today I wanted to show you another method to take outside and find picks on the T side of Nuke. This execute will obstruct a lot of vision from the CTs and possibly force a warehouse player out into the open for a fairly easy pick. For this execute, you will need 4...
And make it easy. Testing Glaive as he does manage to recover 2 rounds at the tail end of the half to leave us to a very competitive 9-6 scoreline. I got Chad Burchill here to break it all down for us as it unfolds. Do you think they're going to be content with a 6-round haul?
I think so, right? Because his multi-kills were just putting them under so much pressure.
5 Kevlar vests. The CTs will just have bullets as a defensive option. Quick. Really quick. 1xBet agrees Astralis are favored. Config makes that clear, but Lackey, oh, he does better. 2 for the price of 1, and a bomb plant? Fake. Needs to Glaive straight through the smoke. Okay, never mind. Crosshair placement supreme.
And the fake as well. How does Glaive hit that one? Forrest are going to be scratching his head, but they're in towards B.
This is good.
Have a smoke on Alien here for late as well.
And Zipex already makes his presence known. Bomb planted.
It's the one way.
Don't want to be peeking too much around that one. This gets awkward though. No kit for Astralis. If they can find a frag now, as Lackey looks the wrong way. They can play the numbers game. Nickelback so low. I'm looking at Alien. That P250 has to bang and has found one head whittled away with 33 HP. Poor old Nickelback. He was last seen decon. It is a 10-second defuse. If he could somehow play with this door and find a quick head, but that should be plenty of time, and a nice pistol win for Astralis.
Almost got out of control. I'm curious why the bomb, wasn't getting tapped. It wasn't the classic, let's tap the bomb, let's hope he peaks, let's take the fight. It was just like, let's just chill, shall we? And chilling works. Yeah, very close stuff right there, and a fortunate kill for Glaive onto Forrester through the smoke. That was a freebie that should have never gone their way, so great work from Glaive here. The pick from Config right there, you can understand exactly what he's doing, because with the flashes, they tend to go wrap around the front. And there it is. Okay, so yeah.
Anything to say?
Yeah, look, we'll take those. And Blame, he's got a bit of the smoke vision as well. He'll grab one just on through the fade. And the plan, it's going to enable an Entropiq buy, 2 Galils, a Mac-10, and 2 Deagles with a bit of util around it. This round here is going to be highly contested. So we keep blowing off. Forrester is going to play behind this. Molly had a chance, just a glimpse. Actually hold on to a bit of utility here in Entropiq, right? So they haven't used too much for their opening gambit within the round. Still have 4 smokes left over for a wall if they want late. Molly's flashes for a top hit, if that's what the doctor ordered. But they are back in spawn right now, lining up a couple of these smokes. So deployed in the air, and Blame to deal with it up secret. It's very deep, squeaky smoke.
Yeah, actually nearly cost Glaive his life there. Missed nade, too much damage done to Forrester, down still functioning at 83. But they've thrown the wall of smokes and Blame's seen nothing. So they will be battling up. Yeah, 3 here on the top side to defend. They charge through, looking for that fight on Heaven. An impact made. They will have to find them, but the frags go in the Entropiq's way. In buckets and spades, Config disrupts though. Could have strung together a couple, but there's so many bodies on that site. And last man, who was Zipex, he was the last to arrive and doesn't look like he's even going to bother.
Yeah, should be the save here. It's surprising that caught Astralis off guard. I think the biggest issue was the walk around the front side of the smokes, right? Farley's just come up heaven as they started to execute. Glaive with some flubbed utility as well. I think that gave them a bit of a buffer, right? The missed nade, well, that one is done in panic. The missed smoke, he's thrown that one too deep and it's left Squeaky basically open. Just trying to see what they can scoop up now. 1 M4 found. So this is the execute, right? So Config is playing in the smoke. He's essentially baiting his teammates. He couldn't play out wide because you could see that molly behind the vent. He had to just wait and see if he could find his moment to strike, and only getting one as he peers on through. Problems now for Astralis. Entropiq the first to reach double digits and done with that buy. Walk away with an M4 as well. They can get an AK into the hands of Nickelback here. And well, Astralis, right, because of the pistol win and then the next round loss, they only get 1,400 coming on through. So their buy is not going to look anywhere near as fierce as the Entropiq force. And it's Zipex the one who's left over with the M4, right? And I'm not taking anything away from Zip here, but they need to activate him to find some kills, or he needs to put himself in the right position so the frags come his way. This is their map choice. Remember, Vertigo up next and Overpass if we need it. And the force buy has come on through. They've left a little bit of residual cash here on the Astralis side.
Oh, it's quick again, and Zipex makes that M4 sing immediately. Glaive's D good for one as well, but they have taken the top site. Lobby defended well as well. There's more. Do they really clear out Blame? The answer is yes.
Having a good game, Alien.
Farley up in heaven. Not going to be easy, especially now the Flames will force his hand to retreat, and Zipex is taking a beating as well. Tries to deny, just find that Hail Mary. Glaive managed it already, and now I dare I say it's probably the same case for Zip.
Yeah, they should save this, right? Don't give up the M4. Just hold on to it, see if you can be threatening again. And Zip did put himself in the right place, right? He did find some impact. He gets a kill out of this one right here, but it's not enough because everything else just fell apart quickly after. Alien prepared for the ramp push, so really good stuff out of him. Forrester, the first player in the server to get up to 20 frags. Alien with 16, the next highest in the server. And then we have 3 players sitting on 13. Zip is one of those, Config another, and it's Lackey on the other side of things. So high power being felt.
Oh, just laughing. I just noticed Glaive isn't showing one of his 4 trophies. He's actually flexing his Stockholm gold coin.
Oh, I see.
He really couldn't care less about one of his 4 major trophies he could put in his cage.
Which one would you have if you were Glaive? Would it be the first or the most recent? I don't know. What would you do?
From my understanding, I think the Starladder Berlin 2019 one meant a lot to the boys.
Okay.
So I think he maybe for a sentimental reason I'd whip that one out, but I don't know. That was the one where Device
every day.
broke the trophy.
Yeah, well, he did that a couple times, didn't he, Device?
He certainly did. Trophies, monitors, pajama ninjas.
They're still here. They're up against Heroic. No, tomorrow, maybe. They have Liquid plays tonight. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry, North American fans.
It's coming.
Liquid might be able to actually get something done tonight, right? I think having Naf and Elige in the server, OC playing well. I like what I've seen from Heroic so far as well, so it should be a banger matchup.
Be a good game. Yeah,
a 7 p.m. fixture, in case that you wanted to catch that one later this evening. Same place, different time.
Different teams. There we have a different wall of smokes thrown out. We'll see what the immediate knee-jerk reaction is from our CTs. Now, shouldn't be too much for Astralis to celebrate here. As discussed in that first half, the magic number that the economy dictates is 3, but good luck finding 3 rifle frags up against these AKs.
And one of the problems here as well is they're likely to get in the bomb and get that bomb down as well. So some big dramas here with Zip positioned over towards ramp, and if they execute top, which they are, Farley needs to go huge.
He gets vision and one chance, one opportunity.
Give it everything you got. Think about spaghetti.
Would you capture it or just let it slip?
Eminem, what a guy.
What a guy.
What a confectionery as well.
What's your personal preference? You were chalky, you were crunchy, you were nutty?
I liked the Crispies when I was a little bit younger, but I think I've just gone back to the basic bit, just the standard.
Yeah, you
feel like a peanut
M&M.
type of guy.
I've dabbled in a good peanut.
Yeah, I thought so.
They aren't bad.
Well, this round, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it hasn't come with a lot of excitement here. It's looking like 4 players want to stay alive. Zip tucked in towards spawn, and the other 3 looking for exits. So this tail end might get juicy.
Yeah, here's some juice for you.
Freshly squeezed. Oh, a bit pulpy for my liking.
Krad gets himself a couple of Krad stat pads.
Say that 3 times quick. I don't, because it ain't easy. That's a Counter-Strike tongue twister right there.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the excitement really heats up. 12-7.
If you've just tuned in, I think the excitement starts when you see the score.
True.
This is Astralis' pick, Chad. And at this point, with the pistol win and then immediately having to buckle under the T force buy, Astralis are going to have limited options if they cannot convert right here, right now, round 20.
They have a kit. There's a positive. No AWP for Farley right here. So how are they going to get this one done with the rifles alone? There's the man in question. Across he goes.
Yep, straight across. No one on silo to spot it. Lucky late arrival there. That will be his responsibility, but Farley's safe and sound for now. In fact, it looks like Lucky's going to be throwing some util from there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lucky's Molly Tutorials. Just to the right of the black dot. And lovely hut Molly provided, at least for the hut side. Nickelback swings through, and Config good for the first and the second. He's built himself around, and Elian is his third victim. 1 mag, 3 frags. Up to Krad. Not looking too healthy about it. Config does give him the jewel he wanted, and somehow Config lives on, wants to finish the job right now, and his greed does get the best of him.
It still fall apart here. I know it's a 2-on-3, which was a 2-on-4 situation, but it is Krad and Lackey, and Lackey has a forward position right now towards ramp. Could catch Zip offline here.
Yeah, he is just on the fade. Zipex, ooh, 1 shot.
Can't repeat that now. Has to give up the territory, which means B is open. Someone has to respond. I think Farley might duck down secret to deal with this. You can see him starting to rotate under now. Glaive up towards the top site. And they are going to finish towards B.
0 util. I think we both have the same thought. Single flashbang. And so this will just have to be positioning and reads. Can they catch? Oh, he does catch a perfect glimpse just as Krad looked away. Near impossible now. He knows a planet would be very beneficial in the grand scheme.
Gets it down.
Yep, just like that. Anything else for Lackey is golden.
That's gravy.
Down. Yeah, that's 3 players down and the bomb plant.
Beautiful stuff. They have gotten the bomb down every single round so far within their T-half. So
big contrast.
Yeah, it's really good stuff from Entropiq here. They're going to continue to be threatening. They have plenty of cash right now. Forrester has 7K. That's before the loss bonus hits his bank account. You've got just under 8 for that. A Krad over 10K for Elian, so his AWP can come out. Entropiq are going to be flush for a buy right here. But this would be the perfect opportunity to maybe take a timeout, have a bit of a discussion of how you want to approach this next round. Plus, Nickelback has got it all sorted. Great stuff from Config here on the third. You can see the crosshair of Elian getting drawn towards Blame as he pushes on through, and then Config will swing and punish, and then Farley with the final 2. A round that almost got out of control, but back underway with the buys. Do we see a pace change here? Because that was still quite direct. They threw the smoke wall yard, and then they just committed top.
Forrester does get the insta-pop. Smoke and down. That's a lot of ground. And he's actually ready to fast flank Farley. This is not a duel he's going to be used to.
Or ready for, potentially.
Yeah. I mean, this could just be a single click to the side of the ear.
What do you do if you're Farley now?
Pop his eardrums. The Mollies confirms it. Farley! Farley! Horrible death. No fun. 0 fun allowed by the boys from Entropiq. And this is starting exactly as they would have planned. You get an opening pick. You've got lower control. I mean, they're almost spoiled for choice here, Chad. I
think if they go towards ramp, they can pressure Zip. You can see Forrester now starting to come on through towards the window side. We'll have to make a sound cue, and there it is. The jig's up on where he's headed, but Zip, we don't want anything to do with it.
Forces him forward, and they're coming into the... Oh, this could end so badly if Forrester isn't given the time. No one is responsible of looking at ramp. Elian completely booked. The frags come in. Entropiq throwing themselves forward and just being met by hot lead. Only the one back. Good frags found from the Astralis topside hold, and what looked so promising and so threatening is now just Forrester, and he's been held.
Oh.
Sprayed through the floorboards.
I could get away with that. Blame is very scared on that low HP. Another kill here would be nice from Entropiq. Remember, the cash, it was flowing. They can go for another buy next round. 1900 loss bonus. It should be just enough to get everybody across the line. I'll be looking to save this here, Forrester. Only 18 seconds remaining on the clock.
Stickers are kind of fire as well. They're the yeah, thank you.
Must have scratched them off a bit, huh?
Yeah, he's done some crafting.
Some scratchy boy. The red line.
The little star ladder X. You know, the star, and that's a star, not an X, is it? There's no X's in star ladder.
Well,
it's a star.
We could put an X in star ladder.
Star X ladder.
Star ladder extreme.
Oh,
could be a new tournament circuit.
Sounds
reading the screen.
Sounds very on brand for them as well. Just have some giant flaming guitar, flamethrower.
Yeah, this one here, right? They didn't use the space that Forrester had, so that one there, overcooking the pooch or overcooking the hooch.
Yeah.
As we might be talking about.
Hooch is crazy.
Yeah, and he could be overcooking this one. He's taking a timeout, he's talking it through, and there's hooch. You say pooch, well, here he is, having a bit of a chat. This is motivational or disciplinary?
I reckon this is entirely motivational. He's just saying, guys, you live one life and this, you're making the most of it. You're chasing your dreams. We're going to chase our dreams further in this tournament. Astralis got nothing on us. 4 majors. We're going to have 5 majors.
Okay, all right. That's an interesting way to use the 30 seconds here. So let's see if it pays off, shall we, Dan?
Let's find out, James.
Well, they can get that buy through, so no qualms. Guess who's got his AWP? It's Farley.
I haven't seen many of them.
No, and that's the thing. T-side Nuke, not always conducive with the AWP. And CT side, well, they've been under the pump. So great that he can get that in his hands finally here. But let's see if he can make a difference with it. Config up to 18 kills now. He's trying to chase down Forrester. Deep molly, leaving the hands. Some moves from Elliot up on towards the silo.
Okay, so just controlling anything aggressive CT maneuvers towards red early. Just to enable safe passage of what looks to be a little late arrival from his squad. Lackey up there as well. It's Blame's responsibility, but don't forget about that Farley AWP, as we discussed. He will either be smoked off or throwing bullets to punish. Quick re-smoke of Squeak.
Should get there in time to post up here unless a smoke wall comes, and you can see the reposition of Blame now, just dancing around yard, trying to jump and peek. They can just park the bomb here behind red and
just
crossing drive.
Just going, and I guess if you hit the headshot, mission not a problem. I was going to say not accomplished. Farley missed his chance. Glaive dancing the dance, but he's losing teammates, needs both. Krad 22 and now has to retreat. The smoke is good enough though. That will keep him guessing. Could they still be low sight, as it looks like they... Oops. Want to return.
Yeah, this is a little bit of overthought here. They did a top fake to draw the rotation. They got everything they were looking for. Now they've gone lower, and now they're denied by this smoke. They're out of utility. There's only a smoke and a flash remaining right here. Sure, they have the number advantage, but 40 seconds on the clock, and maybe, just maybe, Astralis can start piecing this one together. Farley's aggressive over towards the ramp room. You've already got the player of Glaive still down towards the lower side, calling sector clear. And Zip, it would be the next to respond to that. He's calling yard clear, so they can start piecing this puzzle together quite quickly.
I hate to see victims of overthinking, but Glaive is about to punish them. Nice finish onto Krad.
To get away here.
The nade is to slow the advance. He knows he's going to be hunted.
Vent to top.
Vent to top? Okay, well, lobby for Farley. Heaven to be occupied. They have to plant now. Who's responsible? Elliot needs this, but nice shot. Bomb can go down. It can be denied. Need that from Forrester. Bomb does go down, and now the recovery's on. 13, a frag away. It's Glaive. 2 already to the good. Half health and advancing up that ladder undetected. Missed the heaven smoke. Imagine if that's the punishment.
The best call here for Glaive is save.
He wants to have a look, but he's hiding in his own smoke. Elian is hiding in his own smoke. He landed on top of him. Okay. AK. No kit. Oh, no. Kit and frag. Oh, no, they let it slip. Glaive goes on to win the clutch. Just enough health. Comes in with half and takes the 1v2.
That is ridiculous right there. He has just Goomba stomped Elian on the way out heaven, realized that his feet haven't touched the ground yet, and there's no way I should be levitating. I'm good, I'm not a god. And then the elbow spotted on the hut play.
Oh, I want to punch a desk for Entropiq. They felt so good until it did, and look at this recovery. 4 seconds, you get the bomb down. Forrester, the bodyguard. It's hype. This missed heaven smoke leads to a 1v2.
Yikes. And that's the thing, right? You can see Zip, he's tunnel visioned on denying the plant right there and gives up an opportunity in the 2-on-2. So Glaive has to bail them out. Frustration now for Entropiq as double digits are reached by the Danes.
Yeah, that's 3 in a row from Astralis. You are going to be feeling a bit hard done by, but weapons are out. Recovery required.
Look at the Galils, though. They just scatter the battlefield here for Entropiq, and this is a chance for Astralis to take control within this map. If they win this round, it should just be some pistols coming on through from Entropiq for the following, and 12-12 very likely here. Molly dropped. That'll slow the progress. Zip's the one actually peering over and sees nobody home. It's all the ruse again, and they've already been beaten by this. The yard smokes into a top pop, and it comes again.
Config ready to take at least one, but they are charging. Glaive needs another, and it's Forrester that's gone down. He's usually the heavy hitter. Krad, half health from Glaive's spray. 7 bullets in the mag as he looks for another and delivers it as well. Oh, Entropiq, they are going to see this gap close. 4 now in a row for this defense of Astralis, and what's more impressive is how often they have not gone fully down. I'm seeing a save every round.
This is really rough.
They're just going to start to take the lead here by playing this numbers game.
This is the problem, because as you're talking about the type of rounds that they've lost here, again, Stu mentally, it's like, well, we probably could have already finished the game by now, right? You could have broken the back of Astralis here in terms of the finances. In the last 2 rounds of play, Glaive's gotten 6 kills. He's just stalled them out. He's just now greeting Config as far as the top of the charts go. Alien has to hold on to this. As I mentioned, the loss bonus into the next one is going to be 2,900. So for them, you know, you're going to have a couple of upgraded pistols around this AWP, and they're starting to get a move on. You can see them having a look around now. Can we find Alien? We know he has the AWP. Removing this would be instrumental. 8 seconds. They would just be jumping into this line of sight here.
Yeah, they are flashing. They know he's there. Oh my God, they're hunting. Look at this. I haven't seen a hunt like this before. They're really pushing the issue. And down goes the AWP. That's
after time, Alex.
Dude, that's salt in the wound.
After time.
That is full grade A salt in the wound. I'm talking Himalayan. I'm talking pink. Oh.
That one really stinks, right? If they weren't already tilted with the type of rounds they've lost, the fact that Alien now has $150 to his name. This game has just slipped through the fingers of Entropiq. I know Astralis is still 1 round behind here, but they've had so many opportunities, so many chances that they manufactured that have just been ripped away. And now for Alien, this is the problem, right? Next round, sure, they get the loss bonus of 3,400. Unless they get a plant, he won't be able to buy. And into this round, he needs to get dropped something. Is there any charity going on right here for the Entropiq boys? They want to hook him up with a pistol of some kind to at least be threatening in round 24.
I mean, you want evidence that Counter-Strike isn't just a shooty, bang, bang? The fact that Astralis have been not only managing their money, but punishing Entropiq has led us here. They've always had a threatening round for the defense, and now it's the boot is on the other foot. Alien has got nothing more than a bag of Haribo and a bus ticket to try and get through the last stages of Nuke.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult, right? So if they do get a plant, they can try and help him out in future rounds, but when we see that T-side at AWP again, I'm not quite sure. That's going to be a big question mark going forward.
Full-on Roblox. Oof.
Those nades are pretty quick right there. Glaive feels the brunt of that, chipped on down to 52. I like how swish and quick that Entropiq just pulled off that little maneuver. For Astralis, if we're going to talk about them, it's about holding on, not giving over too many rifles here. This is their opportunity to start to consolidate. They already lost the force buy, right? They won the pistol, they lost the force buy, and that's what put them in hot water.
Flame's so ready for these duels. He just wants to get some frags going, and it's Farley that takes the first duel and ensures that they are aware he's got company. They wouldn't mind another frag, and they've got 2.
Pretty good, actually.
Krad's got another headshot in him. Gets a couple of chances, but it will just be left at 2. 12-12 tied up. All tied up, and yeah, you can see the finances will lead to Alien probably going rifle.
Yeah, I was going to just see if Nickelback was going to drop his AWP player or not, but no, he's opted to go for the AK with full utility behind it. Alien might need to operate here with a Galil. Oh, actually, he's gone AK Kevlar, so no head armor for Alien. His head could explode with just 1 bullet of the M4. Nice shot from Farley. Doesn't have the most kills, but in that first half, had some impact rounds. Glaive, the first up to 20 frags now for Astralis, and 12-12 all tied up. Entropiq, tug-of-war their way back into this. Forrester down the vent again, and we saw how this played out last time. He got a free kill onto Farley. Can they utilize his space a little bit better this time round? Coming into Blame's domain, and if he actually goes and tucks in close, he could unravel all of this.
Oh, you have to clear this. Lackey will be likely well drilled. He'll have his crosshair drawn to that fight, but he doesn't even find Blame. That's a big opening for Astralis.
It's a good position for Blame. He often does well there.
And now they come knocking on Xipex's door. He knows his objective here. Forrest is hearing a lot of information. He knows he has to be the hero of this round. Distraction employed in lobby.
They've used so much utility just to get Forrester towards lower, right? And this is the thing. He needs to be more active now. He has the space, but Astralis is just letting him stew in his own juices. Yeah, come back to us. You got to find us.
You're going to be frustrated if you're Forrester. You come all this way and you walk straight into Blame's crosshair. Just like that, Blame, positioning alone, has netted him 2 frags here at a crucial juncture of the game.
He keeps on moving. Very dynamic stuff from Blame here. 3-on-5 scenario now. Ensure the low HP of Config and Blame. You can talk about it, but you need a kill and not able to get one back. Krad goes down, falling apart 1 by 1.
Does look like a bit of a ghost team now, Entropiq. The mental side of Counter-Strike, very real. Couple of gimme rounds that have gone away from them, taken away from them by Astralis. Of course, credit goes both ways in that respect, but looks like they're headed back to
already,
spawn.
Yeah. They have to, only 10 seconds remaining right now. And this is the thing, there was a play that 100 Thieves used to do back in the day where they would get JKS towards lower quite quickly, and he was very competent of getting down that vent. But if you get down the vent and they don't rotate, right, we know that the sound cue has to be made. If they're not going to come to that lower side of things and you don't take initiative and you don't force the issue, but if you can get down the vent, open the door, drop a smoke, force them to respect that rotation and know that it's not just them manufacturing doubt. Astralis, they see this play, And they're just allowing all that space for Forrester to go, hey, it's all right. You can't punish us. You have to come to us.
Seeing the blame angles in, it's just like, that's the perfect embodiment of everything you just said. Because all he has to do is sit there in warehouse and hold your secret walk up. Unless their ears aren't in position and earshot to hear glass breaking and doors opening. But they were. They thought it through. Very well played by Astralis. Oh, he's doing it again. Oh my God, no, he's doing more. Blame, he wants to win the round right here. And he very well could. Double kill out of Blame F. Disappears again. And the round already ringing in Entropiq's ears as their face flush. And sweat on the brow. This looks like 14 for Astralis and Entropiq. They have been dead silent now for 6, nearly 7 rounds.
This is the Astralis that we watched throughout the group stage that were just taking these unbridled aggressive duels. And this time it's through Blame F and just pushing on through. They're starting to take their fights now, the Danes.
How annoying it must be to play against Blame F, because now he just disappears. Like a magician. A smoke bomb. Not going to make the same mistake of an overly deep smoke this time. Foresters try and tip the scales back in their favor.
Yeah, that zip swing up heaven, right? That's on a timing that Forrester's going to get caught there. His toes spotted as he's trying to jiggle and clear out close. So do you save again? I feel that maybe, just maybe, that's the discussion coming on through. And you can hold on to these weapons for as long as you want. But look at what they have on their side. It's just flashes, right? If they don't go down here and they just hold on to the AKs, they can't reinvest anything. Their teammates are the ones who are going to have to get Galils with utility again, as 3,400 is not enough for those AK-47s. Nickelback saved a little bit extra. I don't think you need to hunt, right? Like, if you're Astralis at this point, it's like, okay, let them have the AKs. It's fine. Like, the rest will have Galils. It's all good. They're not going to get any loss burners here. Config's having a look.
He just wants to leave him on a goose egg. Could even happen after time if you're not careful.
It's a fragile point of the game still, right? If one round goes against Astralis, then their finances will start to come into question. But with the conversion, you've got a few members now above that 6K mark. Actually, Farley's up to 10K. Scratch that. They should be sitting pretty Astralis now for the remainder of the game. And they can take a couple more risks like they've done so. For Entropiq, the discussion needs to be, do we actually take a half buy? And they've taken another timeout here. The final timeout for Entropiq has been called in round number 27. Who's trying to be vocal about this? Now, you've got 2 choices. We invest around the 2 saved AKs. We try and deny Astralis from getting to 15. Or we play this one a little bit more humbled. We make sure we get the bomb down, and we can operate in a full gun round next round. But then we need 3 consecutive just to get to overtime. So this is that blame aggression one more time. Beautiful. Second there, just the transfer with the spray onto Lackey. And yeah, he doesn't hang around, right? A lot of players would be tempted to hang around. You know there's a lot of chaos right there. Blame's done enough. He knows he's won the round at that point, dips on back, gets on out of dodge, and they board again. Entropiq, they don't want to battle for overtime here. They want to get this one done in regulation. Purchasers behind these saved weapons again. It's going to change the tide of this one here. They don't have a single Molotov and only 3 smokes for this entire T round.
Does that point at something quite direct? Could do. Looks like Nickelback is at least posturing for something very quick, but the spray is completely shattering their attack. And 3 frags, and make it even more so. They throw more bodies into the problem. Forrester and Elian up against 2 after that frag. Forrester is traded, but so quickly thrown into a very uncomfortable clutch is Elian.
This would be a massive clutch. Blame actually took significant damage there in the fight with Forrester. So there's an opportunity, and the fact that Farley has the AWP...
And he's committed to the top side.
Yeah, so maybe don't even worry about Elian's health points at this moment. If he gets a head-to-head fight and Farley misses, or just walks on into the crosshair. Timing just...
Oh my God, he has no idea. Farley was so close to death. They come as a pack. Elian going round. But the bomb still does eventually have to be retrieved, and finding Astralis may be the hardest part of this clutch.
If he goes up heaven, he has to make an audible to drop. He's hoping to catch a player in the back right here. They're so far away that they shouldn't hear him fall. If he just slides on down, might be able to start working his way back in towards lobby. But look where Blame is, tucked in towards Trophy. Farley deep within Squeaky. These are fortified positions right now, and they know that the bomb just sits right on the cusp of the Squeaky door.
Yeah, Farley's not known to miss these. Good shot down, 15. I can't believe Astralis have managed to make this defensive half look so convincing, so threatening. Always seem to have an answer for Entropiq, and it's been getting more and more one-sided as this half has progressed. This is how it ended. If you want to see how the half ended, it starts with and ends with this spray.
Yeah, what are you meant to do, right? He's just completely blind, pre-firing that angle and gets 2 kills, right? That's what you pay Config the big bucks for. But again, no plant. They've really struggled with plants in the last 5 or 6 rounds here in Entropiq, and they go underway for the final, what should be the final round. Zipex got the opener, it's falling apart.
Started so promisingly now. Entropiq just feel like these 3 rounds are never meant to be. They've got to break through. Elliot is playing around red and is the past tense, forced by Blamed. Another double for Astralis in the opening. Missed main smoke, it gets worse. Forrester need to find Glaive and has done so. 27 and counting. He's doing everything he can for the squad here. He hasn't been cleared. He hasn't been cleared. Krad, the bodyguard, and now perhaps more to be done. 2v2. Made 2v1. Krad swings out and punishes Zipex to swing in as well, and there's a 13th just out of nowhere. It was Forrester and Krad with 5 between them.
Yeah, I think that caught everybody off guard, right? It felt like that should have been the game done and dusted, considering how that opening slew of kills went. So not giving up just yet, and Forrester with more impact being felt now. Just 2 more necessary for this overtime, and well, the buy can come back in for both teams here, but Galil's going to pick up the lion's share of rifles for Entropiq again.
Farley was dropping the one way.
If Astralis lose this round, Farley is going to be the only one with a really good buy going into the next. Everybody else from Astralis is going to be very brittle. So this is a chance for Entropiq, not done yet.
Starting to believe a little bit themselves. Fist bumps exchange, better buy. If they can avoid a double casualty in the opening 30 seconds, that certainly would go a long way as well. Krad's the one to put Ramp on notice. Zipex caught straight through the smoke. That will open up an avenue and force a rotate. Who to acknowledge it's Farley. That does mean 1 less presence here as they head towards Blame's yard. Tucked in the smoke, he wants to try and catch a little sound cue, a little glimmer. Like he does. A toe exposed and another opening for Entropiq. Glaive can try and tip the odds here. Baited on the shadow. Lackey has an opportunity, and with the Galil no less, he has posted a second. Entropiq, out of absolutely nothing, have managed to post the 14th here. And just jumping straight into Config punishes his hunt. It's Farley in a 1 versus 5 that is incredibly stacked against him. The bomb will be planted, and he gets to play the save game.
This is crazy now, right? There's some actual problems. 1900 is the loss bonus for Astralis into the next round. They might even want to try and hunt and take this AWP away from Farley. Now, he's trying to go to one of the most unlikely places to save. If he goes down towards B, they'll search towards spawn. They'll most likely go over towards lobby to make sure he can't get away. As they're clearing this out, Farley's just hoping that they don't come his direction because they need that AWP going forward. He can drop a gun or 2 into the next round. So Farley's survival here is integral for Astralis' buy into round number 30. And there's a couple of dramas, right? Like, we talk about how Entropiq are a hard team to put away. What felt like it should have been the last round, they flub their lines, they overextend a little bit. Entropiq will rip those away from you now, and they're breathing down the neck with overtime, not too far away. Bomb goes off, and Farley too close to the bomb. He just loses it all.
Oh, yeah, well, you set it up. You explained the state of play. Farley would have been able to throw out a rifle for his squad mate, instead taken away from him by the bomb itself.
Oof, and he's prioritized the AWP here. He had 6K, he's just bought back in. The timeout has been called. Right, he could have dropped a gun. That would have gone to Zipex or Glaive. Config and Blame both have above 4K, just, so they can get the rifles out here with Kevlar around it. Util's going to be light. Zip and Glaive are going to have to operate with something less. An MP9 for Glaive, a 5.7 for Zip. You got to put these guys away. You can't allow them to have an opportunity to get back into this.
I'm sure it's stressful to not be able to actually influence this game outside of those 30-second timeouts. It's Entropiq exhausted all of theirs. Map point again for Astralis. We've been here before. 2 opportunities have gone awry. Can Entropiq defend their honor for a 3rd time consecutive? Will OT arrive map 1? Forrester, he's been so good. A very prized scalp to take, and again, he gets himself down the vents. Astralis have handled this well before. Sound cues are required. Will it be glass? There's a lot of moving pieces now as they adjust. There's the broken glass. Zipex confirms his presence. He's got to deal with that, and towards ramp.
Blame's coming. Blame's here. He has to be the hero.
He really does. He's got one of the few rifles. He does go anti, but from behind, Forrester takes him down. Zip, so much to deal with, but he does recover a rifle. He is responsible entirely for this low sight. Elian containing that lobby aggression. This can go either way. It is teetering. With 60 seconds left, the answer of a 16-14 or OT. It still hangs in the balance.
If Farley can get up secret quick enough, he can help lock down main here. He can call yard clear. That means that Glaive and Config have to know this is coming.
Config's in a very powerful position. You see this work so well for Jax of G2. Usually good for one, guaranteed. If they come through Squeak, it's even better.
Back to ramp. The doubt here.
Okay.
They've just parked Krad, hoping for a reaggress. Nobody's pushed so far. They've still got a couple of smokes to go down towards B. They could smoke off single or double. Zip is playing in the back of the site. They can't molly him out of position here. He can stand and delay, but needs to hit some absolute scorches of shots.
Bomb plant is a huge leg up, but you have to get to the site. Zipex stands to deliver one. Slowing them, rotates fast, 15 seconds. Astralis, they just need to delay. And they are. The frags come in. Entropiq second guessing themselves and falling flat at the mark on the finish line. 16 is secure. And the Danes are happy with that. They take their map pick. It was not all sunshine and rainbows though, Chad. That was a hard-fought battle, full 30-round affair.
They had to work for it, Entropiq are not a team to be sniffed at. And Astralis, they pick up their map choice. It's not going to get easier from here. Vertigo waits in the